Good morning. This is January the 15th, 2025. We are in BBIS first semester compulsory English class, where we have been reading the essay. Get in. Will big businesses finally reckon the climate crisis? And we were reading this paragraph in yesterday's class. Let's continue. Glendon started conducting his own research. So as I said, this essay uses ideas from the research done by Spencer Glendon. So as you saw earlier, the writer first establishes the credibility of Spencer Glendon by describing his long-standing experience, his qualification, academic credentials, all that, and background. Again, he says that he is a researcher who talks to scientists and who also reads scientific papers. So when the writer writes this way, his writing gains credibility in the eyes of the reader. And this creates ethical appeal, as I said yesterday. Including climate change work put forth by WHRC, Woods Hole Research Center. And I said, every time you see a quotation mark, so this writer is quoting. Whom is he quoting? He is quoting Spencer Glendon, who is a researcher. So this is called bringing an authority to back up your argument. You can support what you are saying by bringing quotations like this from experts. What I realized was that this was actually mankind's first good forecast. This means climate or research on climate. Research on climate, which Glendon read. And he said that the research I read about climate, that was a man's good forecast. And please understand that. Please, Allah bhayo. मैले बताइरहेको छु है, मैले पढाइरहेको बेलामा चाहिँ छिसिक्क बोल्यो भने मलाई अनइमेजिनेबली रिस उठ्छ। तुरुन्तै विदिन मिलिसेकेन्डमा कहाँबाट कहाँ पुग्याउँछु रिसमा। अनि त्यो बेलामा मैले तपाईलाई मैले केही मिसबिहेभ गरेँ भने पछि मलाई गुनासो नगर्नु है। म पनि मान्छे हो, रोबोट होइन। म मान्छे हो। I am affected by whatever you are affected with. So listen to me carefully as I explain. So business people put money in those projects where you can predict what is going to happen. Right? Now the problem is business people these days think that business people these days think that climate is most unpredictable phenomenon. Now, as a result, they are not willing to put money in climate projects like clean energy projects. And this is creating a problem. This is the argument of the essay, right? So this point is very notable because he says that we can make good forecast about climate. But businessmen think that today climate is very unpredictable. As a result, they are discouraged to put money in climate because business thrives only when you can forecast what is going to happen. If you can predict what will happen tomorrow, you put money there, right? Okay. He said, it was not just one variable, but a suite of variables. It means climate. It was not just one variable, but a suite of variables that all fit together. So, what does climate mean? What does climate involve? Rainfall. And you can see today, rainfall is very unpredictable. It is getting difficult to predict when it will rain. It rains when it is not expected. It does not rain when it is needed. Season length. You can see the length of season is changing. Winters may be longer than they used to be. Summers may be shorter than they used to be. Right? Night versus day temperature. These are changing. Nights used to be cooler earlier. Now they are warmer. Days used to be less warm earlier. Now they are quite warm, quite hot. A composite of how the world has changed and not changed. Now, the point to understand for you here is, please keep in mind that for the last 10,000 years, the pattern of rainfall was constant. The pattern of season length was constant. The pattern of night and day temperature was constant. But today, it is changing quickly, and that is creating the problem. How the world had changed. The climate had not changed in the last 10,000 years. That's why human civilization grew. Human civilization could grow because the climate was stable. Today, human civilization is under threat because our climate has become quite unstable. So whether humanity exists on this planet depends on whether we have a stable climate. By the time I am looking at this, all these things the scientists had predicted had come true. This means climate. Now if you remember, I don't know if you read, there is an essay by Moti Nisani titled Two Long-Term Problems. The essay is Two Long-Term Problems, Too Many People, Too Few Trees. This essay was in the course in grade 12 compulsory English last time. I don't know if you read it. Maybe you read another course, right? In this essay by Moti Nisani, you can Google this and read if you want to. I hope this is available on Google. He begins by talking about World Scientists Convention. Somewhere I forgot, maybe Brazil. In 1998 or something, I forgot. And in 1998 or 1992, I forgot, you can cross-check, there was a convention of the scientists around the world, in Brazil, I guess, not sure. And in that convention, they published warning to humanity. They published warning to humanity. What was that warning about? They said that people are causing irreparable damage to the environment. Damage that cannot be repaired. And the scientists gave a deadline. They said, if you do not control the depletion of environment by 2022. Now I remember, this convention was held in 1992. They gave a 30-year deadline. I remember now. Then there will be a disaster. And they said there will be more fire, more flood, more landslide, and there will be a crisis in the world. This is 2025. 3 years after the warning deadline. And whatever the scientists said, people didn't listen to them. And look today what is happening around the world. Look what is happening at LA, California, what is happening in Canada, what is happening in Australia, what is happening in Nepal. Macha Puchri has no ice. Whatever they said has come to be true. And still we are not listening. So he said that the predictions about climate made by scientists has come to be true. Even in this article below, you will see in one page, they talk about wildfires in California. And they say if you don't control the environment, it will continue. And look, this was written in 2020. After 5 years, what they said has come to be true. It became more and more clear to me how disruptive, how painful, how much of a challenge to civilization it means climate crisis. So he says climate crisis will disrupt human civilization. Climate crisis will bring pain to human civilization. And climate crisis will pose a new challenge to human civilization. Right? In pure economic terms, and now this disruption will come in economic form. However, he saw a gold mine now. Glendon says that business people could exploit this opportunity as a gold mine to invest money in climate change and make profit. But business people are not putting money in climate project. What kind of project? Glendon says that today we have fossil fuel energy. Glendon further says that today we have oil-based energy. This is causing CO2 emission. That is causing global warming. So what should business people do? Business people, how can they make gold mine? Look, why does Glendon say that Why does Glendon say that climate crisis can be a gold mine? His point is business people should put money in clean energy projects, so they can convert the crisis into creativity and make money by putting money in clean energy business. What is clean energy business? Solar business. Solar power is clean energy. Hydroelectricity is clean energy. And if you see social media these days, very unimaginable sources of energy are being invented, like batteries and all that. Like, for example, hydrogen energy, nuclear energy. Recently, China developed a coin-sized battery that can last 50 years without charging. They are trying to develop batteries which will last 50 years without charging. Recently, they discovered hydrogen underground, and they say there is so much hydrogen, it will help us for 1,000 years energy need. So money should be put in this area, right? Okay. I was working in an industry where if you were right 60% of the time, you could become fabulously wealthy. See, if you were right 60% of time. What is business? Business is you put money, bring resources, put money, make production in the hope that people will buy your product. So if you can correctly foresee what product will be sold in future, you put money in that area and make profit. So business thrives if you can make correct predictions. And these forecasts had been right for 40 years. These forecasts means forecast about climate. Glendon began speaking to the corporate world. Who are corporate world? Those people who have money, business people, about climate risk. Greater the risk, higher the probability of profit in business. No risk, no gain. Higher the risk, higher the gain. This is a very clear economic principle, right? So he is saying, yes, there is risk in climate, but that is where the money is. And 4 years ago, gave a lecture at McKinsey's Global Sustainability Summit. What is sustainability? For example, if you produce solar energy, that's sustainable. Anything is sustainable if it can function without harming the environment. Any effort is sustainable if it can continue without harming the environment. That's the meaning of sustainability. In Berkeley, titled Man's First Good Forecast, soon afterward he quit his job at Wellington and started helping Woodhull's Research Center build a team that could make climate science. Look, here the word, first time the word, climate science. What is science? Science is systematic study of any phenomenon. So climate science means systematic study of climate, right? Vivid and relevant to the business world. This is what this article is trying. This article is arguing climate science is relevant to this is the point this article makes. See the use of science. The moment you say climate science, it becomes more reliable because you know there is a science, so you can make good forecast. There is no risk. Okay. In 2018, Dickon Pinner, a senior partner at McKinsey, McKinsey is a global financial management organization, contacted Glendon, whom he had befriended after the Berkeley Summit, about a new research project. What is this new research project? It's about climate. The report they produced after a year-long collaboration, this research project, hangs in part on a few ideas that had preoccupied Glendon. First, it was researched and written to focus on near-term climate risk. What are near-term climate risks? Short-term climate risks. So they were focusing on short-term climate changes. Because when the climate changes in a very short term, this poses a threat to business people and they don't put money. So the challenge here is how to motivate business people to exploit short-term climate change and make money. To focus on near-term climate risks, nothing beyond the lifetime of a standard 30-year mortgage. See, understand one thing. Most business people will not be interested in putting money in any project that might take longer than 30 years to yield profit. This is the study. You are a business person and there is a proposal for new project, and I tell you, put this 1 billion money and you will get profit after 30 years. You will say no, because it's too long. As a business person, you want quick return. So you will say, give me a 5-year project. I'll put my money. If you have a choice, a 30-year-long project versus 10-year-long project, you will always choose 10-year-long project because you want to make money quickly and pack up and move on another project. छिट्टै पैसा लगानी गर्ने, छिट्टो कमाउने, अगाडि बढ्ने. कहाँ 30 वर्ष त्यहाँ लिङ्गेर गएर बस्छ. Right? Because many parts of the society, such as funding the government and housing, are organized around those time zones. Also, global heating. Now look what happens. If you have a 30-year period for investment and getting money profit, then in 30 years, you do not know there may be global heating. You do not know there can be more carbon in the sky in 30 years. And if there is more heating and more carbon in 30 years, you think your business will be in crisis. You will lose the money. So you won't put money in that long-term business, right? Read again. See how serious things are there. Because many parts of society such funding here. Also, global heating, owing to additional carbon already in the atmosphere, is locked in for at least the next 10 years. The point is, there is already large amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, locked. It's already there. So in the coming 10 years, whatever you do, global warming will go up. Because we have already deposited enough CO2 in the atmosphere. Now that poses a challenge, right? And will continue to cause myriad harmful impact regardless of the actions that nations now take to decarbonize. Like Bhutan. Bhutan is the only country in the world that has minus carbon rating. All other countries increase CO2 every year. Bhutan decreases. And Bhutan sells CO2 to rich countries and gets money. There is CO2 trading. You Google and find out. If you can contribute to environment, rich countries pay you money. right? There's a quota. There's a quota, how much CO2 each country can produce. America produces more CO2 than the quota. So what does America do? America gives money to Bhutan, countries like Bhutan or Nepal, and says, you produce less and you sell your quota to me so that I can produce more CO2. It's a wonderful business, right? If you don't know. So whatever you do to decarbonize for the 10 years to come, the world will be warmer. It was surprising to realize the extent of how much risk there is out to 2030. यो पढेर तपाईलाई निराशा लाग्ला, यो पढेर तपाईलाई डर लाग्ला, निराशा लाग्ला, हैन, चिन्ता लाग्ला. अबको 5 इयरमा देयर इज मोर डेन्जर भन्यो. इट इज ह्यापनिङ. तपाईँ गुगलमा इन्भाइरोमेन्टल क्राइसिस अन द वर्ल्ड भनेर हान्नुस् र हेर पढ्नुस् के भइरहेछ अहिले. यो लेख्या 2020 मा 10 वर्षको डेडलाइन दियो उले, 10 वर्षमा अझ धेरै क्राइसिस हुन्छ भनिरहेछ. एन्ड दिस भेरी ट्रु, right? If you check information on Google. Okay. And how much is already logged in? See, we are already in crisis because we have already produced enough carbon to create problem. यस्तो कुरा पढेपछि त तपाईले कमसेकम तपाईको मनमा चाहिँ मैले के गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने आउनु पर्ने हो नि. प्लास्टिक कम प्रयोग गर्नुस्. अघि बिहान आउँदै थिएँ बल्कुमा पुलमा नाकबाट सास फेर्नै गाह्रो भयो. हेलमेट लगाइरहेको थिएँ, ढल जस्तो भयो. के भइरहेको थियो, पुलको पारिपट्टि कसैले बिहान 5 बजे 5:30 बजे यत्रो हिप बनाएको छ प्लास्टिक र रबरको चप्पलको र सल्काइदिएछ जाडोमा ताप्नलाई. त्यो एरियाभरि त्यो रबरको यति विषालु हुन्छ, क्यान्सर हुन्छ सिधै. रबर जलाएर सुँग्नै हुँदैन, प्लास्टिक जलाएर सुँग्नै हुँदैन, एकदमै हानि गर्छ. पुरा त्यो एरियाभरि धुवा थियो कि अहिले बिहानमा आउँदाखेरि. कसलाई भन्ने, ट्राफिक प्रहरी त्यही थियो. नोबडी केयर्स, राइट? Mekala Krishnan, a senior fellow at the McKinsey Global Institute, told the crowd during a panel discussion with Glendon. What did he tell? He said that we are already locked in crisis. Whatever we do, we have to face. He says. Somewhat pessimistic, right? I don't know, but that is the bitter reality. The report also emphasized something long understood by scientists, but something long understood means we have produced a lot of CO2 and we are in danger, which the McKinsey consultants explained to the crowd as if it were a revelation. The future climate will not resemble the relatively stable climate of the past 10,000 years. This is the most important point to understand. What is the point to understand? For the last 10,000 years, our climate was stable. Now, our climate is very unstable. Today, our climate is very unstable. And humanity grew because climate was predictable, stable. Humanity will die if climate becomes unstable and unpredictable. The future climate will not resemble the past climate, which accounts for the full span of human civilization. Investing in an environment where tomorrow does not look like today is very tricky. This is the problem. Businessmen are not able to put money, are not willing to put money in project because tomorrow has become very uncertain. So what are they buying? They are buying gold. Why the gold price is going up? See, kina sunko tolak 2 lakh puyo ta? Because they think sun kinau. सुनमा तल माथि नपर्ला. तर सारा संसारमा खानेकुरै फलेन भने के सुन खाएर बस्नुहुन्छ? राइट? Pinner, the McKinsey partner who was also on the panel, said the global economy relies on endless layers of systems that were built within the stable climate of the past. See, our economic systems are built on a stable climate pattern. And when the climate pattern becomes unstable, our economic systems fail. कहिले धान रोप्ने, कहिले गहुँ छर्ने, कहिले तोरी छर्ने, कहिले तरकारी फलाउने, कहिले के गर्ने मौसमले डिसाइड गर्छ नि। जब मौसममा भोलि के हुन्छ थाहा भएन भने यु डोन्ट नो भोलि के रोप्ने। देख्नु न अहिले साउनमा चाहिँ धानको बिउ छर्ने बेलामा पानी नै पर्दैन तराईमा। सुन्नुभएको छैन? पोहोर सालकै न्युजहरू हेर्नुहोस् न कस्तो हुन्छ, राइट? All these physical climate impact, see, physical climate impact means rain or no rain, etc. And threshold, what is threshold? See, threshold is, if there is change up to this point, it is bearable. मानिलिउँ साउनसम्म पानी परेन, चल्छ काम। तर भदौमा नि पानी परेन भने सबै सिद्धिन्छ। थ्रेशोल्ड, there is a limit. There is a limit of climate change जहाँसम्म we can survive. And thresholds, lethal heat waves preventing outdoor labor. See, there is a prediction that by 2030 global temperature will rise and there will be lethal heat wave. लु भन्छ हिन्दीमा। लु भनेको तराईमा बाहिर हिँड्दाखेरि तराईमा वैशाख जेठमा हिँड्न सक्दैन बाहिर, ज्वरो आउँछ, मान्छे मर्छ, चराहरू त फुत्त फुत्त खसेर मर्छ माथिबाट, त्यति हिट हुन्छ। अस्ति पोहोर क्यानाडामा सुन्नु भएन? क्यानाडामा हिट वेभ भएर मान्छे मर्यो। अमेरिका मरिरहेछ हिट वेभ। हिट वेभ भनेको यति बढी तातो हावा चल्ने कि त्यो बाहिर निस्किन सक्यो, निस्किनु मरिहाल्छ कि मान्छे, झ्याप्पै मर्छ बाहिर निस्क्यो भने। त्यस्तो हुन्छ, त्यति तातो हावा हुन्छ। केले? ग्लोबल वार्मिङले। अब यस्तो भने के हुन्छ? मान्छेहरू बाहिर काम गर्न जाँदैन, भित्र बस्छ, बाहिर त मर्छ नि त। अनि काम गर्न नभएपछि के हुन्छ? खेतमा लेबर पुग्दैन काम गर्नलाई, अनि प्रोडक्सन हुँदैन। प्रोडक्सन नभएपछि के हुन्छ? इकोनोमी कोल्याप्स हुन्छ। द्याट्स हाउ क्लाइमेट चेन्ज इज associated with economy. Look here, lethal heat waves, if they cross the threshold. अहिले नेपालगञ्जमा 45 डिग्री हुन्छ गर्मीमा, मानिलिउँ त्यो 60 भयो भने के हुन्छ भोलि? 55 त पोहोर सालै भयो, कता मैले बिर्सेँ, इन्डियामा कुन ठाउँमा 55 भयो। 55 डिग्री पनि यहाँ हो, मान्छे त बोइल हुन्छ त सिधै, राइट? प्लिज डु समथिङ। अहिले त पढाउनै डर लाग्यो, यसै पढाउनै डर लाग्यो कि मलाई नै डर लागिसक्यो। प्रिभेन्टिङ आउटडोर लेबर एन्ड डिस्ट्रोइङ हार्भेस्ट। यसलेमा आगलागी कसरी भएको? मान्छेले सल्काएर भएको होइन नि, गर्मीले भएको। फ्लड्स imperiling infrastructure and shutting down electric grids. अप्पर तामाकोसी पोहोर सालको बढीमा हानि भयो। अहिले के भइरहेछ? कति अर्ब चाहिन्छ अरे बनाउनलाई, अहिले बनायो के अरे? बीपी राजमार्ग कति 1 खर्बको चाहिने भयो भनेको छ बनाउनलाई, रिपेयर गर्नलाई 1 खर्ब चाहियो। कहाँबाट ल्याउने त्यो? बेलम्ची खर्बौँ चाहियो, अझै बनाएको छैन। देख्नुहुन्छ बर्खालासे बन्द हुन्छ पानी, किन? Destruction in infrastructure by flood will not just affect GDP or decrease economic activity. Now, if there is no electricity, factories won't run. If factories won't run, GDP will go down. Slightly, Pina said, our sense is no, actually it's an impact on the factor production that drive GDP. The whole production system will collapse if climate is unstable. And therefore it's more structural. Economic structure will collapse. He went on, it's actually an attack on wealth. Attack will have nothing. I mean, he had the room's attention, and when he said wealth, people listen. You know, people always listen only the word money. If you say, money, people listen to you. Right? Look, all the के दिइरहेको छु? पैसा दिइरहेको छु. People listen to money. People do not listen to anything else. If you tell them, तिम्रो गोजीमा भएको पैसा हराउँछ, हो र, they will say. If you tell them, पानी फोहोर हुन्छ नदीमा, they won't listen to you. मलाई के मतलब? नदीमा फोहोर के भयो? घरमा सफा पानी आछ? How long सफा पानी? Right? How long will you have सफा पानी? Okay. Glendon said, the economics of climate change, that's the topic of this essay. This essay is about the economics of climate change. As it has been calculated and analyzed to date, will be seen as one of the worst mistakes humans have made, much worse than any of the denialists. Who are denialists? Denialists are people who refuse to accept established fact. Like Donald Trump is a denialist. Conservatives are denialists. यो essay मैले बारम्बार भने जस्तै पनि, this essay takes a democratic position. I told you yesterday. And it criticizes the conservative political position about climate. Because conservatives, Donald Trump, they deny. They say there is no climate crisis. Right? The models are all calibrated on the past 50 to 75 years, a period of time when at least in rich countries, nothing happened. So economic models, see the point. Our economic models are based on the data obtained from the past 50 to 75 years climate pattern. And now, that climate pattern is not working. So our economic models are not working. In the last 75 years, nothing happened. म बच्चा हुँदाखेरि त मैले भने नि 20 वर्ष मैले घर बनाए बालजुमा, जहाँ मैले घर बनाए 60 सालमा 21 वर्ष अगाडि यो बेलामा चाहिँ कुरो लाग्थ्यो बिहान बाटै देख्दैन थियो. अहिले त वर्षमा कहिले पनि कुरो लाग्दैन, चिसै हुँदैन, ठण्डी नै हुँदैन. मुस्ताङमा मच्छर लाग्छ आजभोलि, पढ्नुस् न गुगलमा. मुस्ताङमा मच्छर लाग्छ. काठमाडौँमा गोमन सर्प पाउँछ. केले? वार्मिङ बढेर. रुखहरू माथि चढिरहेछन्. केले? हिउँ सकिएर रुखहरू माथि. पढ्नुस् न तपाईँ, नेपालको हिमालयहरू हेर्नुस् न. पहिला 4000 मिटरमा चाहिँ आइस लाइन हुन्थ्यो भने अब 6000 मा भइरहेछ. 2000 मिटर रुखहरू चढिसक्यो. रुखहरू माथि गइरहेछ. किन? वार्मिङले. हिमालमा हिउँ छैन. माउन्ट एभरेस्टमा चाहिँ त्यो क्रिभासहरू पग्लेर चढ्न गाह्रो भइसक्यो. सबै पग्लिरहेछ. एन्टार्क्टिक पग्लिरहेछ. सी लेभल बढिरहेछ. फ्लड बढिरहेछ. See? He said, no wars, no great depression, no bit of inflation and one financial crisis. Many typical models take data from that historic period. What period? यो एसेको एउटा सुरुमा जानुस् त. एसे त्यो यो कुरा यो पढ्न बुझाउनलाई एरियो वर्ड हेर्नुस् त एकचोटि. Focus on the word. Annals of a warming planet. What does annal means? Historical record of warming planet. So this essay is tracing the history of global warming. Annals means history. Annals means history. So this essay is tracing the history of global warming. कहाँ बोलिरहेको थिएँ थाहै छैन मलाई नै थाहा छैन कहाँ बोलिरहेको थिएँ म. यही हो कि अझ तल हो? यहाँ माथि कहाँनिर मैले बोलिरहेको थिएँ अघि? सम्झाउ कसैले? Ah, we were here. So models take data from historic period, as I showed you, and project what might happen in the future. They are also based on the assumption that the experience of the economy is equal, dependent on the climate at the time. See, mark this word. Economy depends on climate of the time. Economy depends on the climate of the time. And if climate changes, economy will change. If climate changes, economy will change. If climate is in crisis, economy will be in crisis. But Glendon said they have not incorporated thresholds or breaking points. What is threshold? A point after which the economy may collapse. The actual experience of the economy is contingent on the climate of the future. And it is getting difficult to predict climate of the future. So we stop here for today, or maybe we can cover one paragraph. Sakincha. For example, I give the example. Many economic models still assume that India will keep growing indefinitely. They just have 7% growth. Maybe now they have 9. Alibadi sir. A GDP of the demand, Glendon said, there is no question about whether climate change might impact this growth. It will impact. It will impact. How? How? Look here. But the report found that, a very serious thing here, maybe Indians will be scared to read this, 380 million people work outdoor in India, and less than 10% of the country's homes have air conditioning. By 2030, see the prediction, possibly 200 million Indians could be exposed to lethal heat waves, climate. Look, climate, in which the temperature could kill a well-hydrated person. Pani khar gaya ni marnu sa bhai. Tanna pani khar bahar gaya pani you may die. Who spent only 4 hours outside, even in the shade, oh God, even in shade, and by which the average number of lost daylight working hours. Look, see this. See very clearly, understand. This is climate. This is climate. This is economy. More heat, less time to work outside. To the point where between 2.5 and 4.5% of GDP will go down. GDP will be at risk. See, if global heat, and you read earlier that there is so much CO2 already locked in the environment that you can do nothing now. The temperature will go up. If temperature goes up, GDP will go down. If temperature goes up, GDP will go down. It's a reverse relation. I stop here for today. Tomorrow I'll be able to finish this, I hope. As I told you, just a minute.